The birds are chirping out here. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Another Film Club pick in the books. Did you watch our Film Club pick this week? Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Either way, welcome back, or welcome for the first time. I'm really glad you're here. It's me, Carson Higgins. I'm usually somewhere else, and I'm usually with Groot. But today, I'm here, and today, I'm with Grogu. So, you know, we always have our little cute green buddies with us. That's just what we're here for. FilmStruck FilmClub. If you've never participated before, we are a film club, much like a book club. We watch a movie a week. A lot of times it's going to be on the Criterion channel. There's planes going by, but you know what? It's a busy world. And every week we watch these movies, and you have that whole week. You can watch it whenever you want. It'll take you 2 hours? Watch that movie at your leisure, and then I'll usually, put out one of these at the end of the week, and then another film comes around. We watched a Birthday Boys movie. That's right. Somebody was celebrating their 100th birthday. No, they were not here to celebrate it. This person passed away in 1992 after an incredible career as a filmmaker. It is the centennial, the 100th birthday of Satyajit Ray, India's frickin', I don't know what you call him. I guess he's widely considered the greatest director to ever come out of India. One of the pillars of world cinema. Some of the best directors ever point to him as an inspiring figure. I'm not even going to name drop Martin Scorsese. I'll pick it up for you. He himself has said that the work of Satyajit Ray is very inspiring. And we have already visited some of his work in this club. Maybe you've been a part of us so long that you can recall once upon a time we watched the first film in his very highly acclaimed Apu Trilogy. That film is Pather Panchali, and I can't recommend that trilogy enough. It is one of the greatest cinematic experiences that you're ever going to have. And I won't get too much into the Apu Trilogy because that's not what we watched this week. But I will say, if you've never seen those films, at least go watch Pather Panchali and see how you feel. But we watched his film from 1966, Nayak, or The Hero, starring Uttam Kumar, who turns out, forgive me, I didn't know, but he's one of the biggest movie stars in Indian history. He's the guy. He's like Marlon Brando or something. I don't know. He's up there. And what's fun, I'm going to read you the plot here in a second after I give you a couple little stats. It does sit with a humble 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. So, some people liked it. But yeah, it was written with Uttam Kumar in mind because he was this big star. Satyajit Ray, I guess, didn't even want to make this movie if he wasn't going to get this man to play the role. Here's the plot. En route to Delhi, which is in India, for any of you geographically, what do you call it? Unstudied? I'm rather unstudied. It's okay. En route to Delhi to receive an award, a Bengali film star reevaluates his success through his fellow passengers, his dreams, and his past experiences. This guy, his name is Arundam in the film. This movie star who's on a train on his way to go receive this acting award. He is so cool. The first however, I don't remember how many minutes, the first couple minutes of seeing him on screen, we don't ever see his face. We see him tying his shoes, we see him combing his hair, we see him counting his money while he's talking to his manager or his agent or something about going to receive this award and about this fight that he got in last night that's going to be in the tabloids. And then we finally see him, and he's just that perfectly 60s cool. Immediately he turned around and I was like, it's Marcello from, La Dolce Vita or 8.5. He's very much, what's his name, Guido from 8.5. Just like the spitting image of Marcello Mastroianni. And is that his last name? Yeah, I just instantly I was like, I'm down to hang out with this guy for 2 hours. And of course we wind up on this train and we meet some fantastic ensemble characters that just throughout the film we get to know them a little bit here and there. All kind of through the lens of our movie star, our hero. And and they're all awesome. I mean, shout out to the the toothless old man who hates films, who once upon a time saw How Green Was My Valley, and like that's about it. uh, an incredible scene with him, and he he didn't want to share the room with Arundam because he's like, "Do you drink?" It's kind of a thing with film stars. You all drink, and the smell of alcohol nauseates me. It's like I just found it to be a really charming and funny little scene. Satyajit Ray's sense of humor is just so compelling and so easy to relate to. I mean, I've never been to India, but the 4 films now that I've watched from this man have just kind of like plopped me there in such a welcome, inviting way that even the cultural differences that are things that we don't do here in America or here in the 21st century, you're instantly recognizing it as something familiar. All of the people in this film are people that you kind of feel like you know them a little bit, which is really kind of an amazing thing if you think about it. This is a 50-plus-year-old movie from India, and I'm just a guy in 2021 who's having a blast getting to know all these people. The film does kind of center around this chance meeting, I guess you can call it, with Aditi, who is a kind of aspiring journalist, and she winds up chatting up our movie star for like the duration of this train ride, and kind of getting a little interview out of him, and he is surprisingly candid with her. And the film also has these kind of surreal dream-like moments. He'll fall asleep, as one does during travel, right? He'll fall asleep and like have a crazy dream where he's surrounded by like mountains of money, and then he starts to kind of drown in the money. If you check on the Instagram page or even on the Facebook, whatever, I put a bunch of posters from this film, and one of them is this like very beautiful yellow and blue, and you just see this hand kind of reaching up through this what looks like money. And I didn't know it at the time, but it was depicting this scene, and so now looking at that poster, I'm like, this poster's amazing. I want it on my wall. Yeah, the dream sequences are also very Fellini feeling. Like it just felt, this film and 8.5 kind of share a certain, I don't know what the French call a certain, I don't know what, but I'm cracking myself up quoting Austin Powers over here. I really was just so surprised. I knew, I had a feeling I was gonna like this movie. I didn't know I was gonna love this movie. His insight to the film industry and just kind of what film is to the audience and what it is to the people that make these movies, and kind of crashing them together and watching it play out. There's a perfect scene where Aditi and Arundam are talking, and they pull into the train station, and she gets instantly nervous because people are rushing the window and being like, "Oh my God, it's this super famous guy," and he's playing it so cool and so normal, and he's like, "What? Don't hide your face. They're just gonna want to look at you more." But that little scene just perfectly kind of encapsulates this person who's very used to this world, right up against someone who is very unfamiliar with it. And I'm just going to go real quick because it is the guy's 100th birthday. So let's just take a second. If you watch some videos or interviews of him speaking, he's like the wisest, kindest sounding, just like you want to go learn from him and work with him. He speaks several languages. So lucky for me, there were plenty of things I could watch just of him speaking to me in very eloquent English. And there's an honorary Oscar that he got while he was like in his hospital bed, and so some of his speech is a little slurred, but he just talks about the magic and the beauty and the wonder of cinema and how much he loves cinema so much, and it's just very apparent in his work that almost, and I'm cliche for making the comparison, but he has like a Ozu sort of sensibility, this like very tender human way into cinema, and it's precisely why he is still so affecting all these years later and in any country. I'm sure that these movies kill in France or in Canada or Germany or in Africa, it doesn't matter. He just makes very human stories, and he somehow distilled the human experience into this thing that I don't even want to like get too heady about because I don't really know what I'm talking about. I do just know that I very much appreciated my time watching this film, The Hero, and I really look forward to watching it again. It's kind of reinvigorated my desire to visit his other films. I after the Apu Trilogy, which is kind of like the thing that everyone watches, and it's like, I know Satyajit Ray, and then there's others. I'm really curious now to see The Music Room and The Big City. These are films I already kind of was curious about, but now having a better understanding of just what kind of an artist this guy is. I mean, for God's sakes, he writes the movies, he directs the movies, and after he had Ravi Shankar do the music for the Apu Trilogy, he was like, that guy's busy, I'll just compose it myself. So all the music in The Hero is by Satyajit Ray. He also kind of became his own cinematographer after a while, because I'm quoting him, it was the best spot to see what your movie was going to look like. So eventually he just wanted to be right there watching everything happen. So he's just a master. He's a master, and watching a film like this is just a treat. So I really hope you got a chance to check it out. And if you haven't, I didn't spoil anything really. You have to check it out, because he does really kind of get into some very personal things. And it's super meta. Having a movie star play a movie star, you get this opportunity to see a very cool kind. Like I was picturing, if they were to make the American version, it'd be like watching Brad Pitt or Leonardo DiCaprio on screen playing a movie star. You just instantly buy it. Yeah, I one last thing, and then I'll leave you alone. The guy hand wrote the script with shots in the margin. So it's like, here's your script, and it's handwritten with like little storyboards basically in the margin. What a craftsman. What a freaking G. Hey, you know what? Satyajit Ray, happy birthday. Really proud of you, man. You did great work in your life. Give us all something to aspire to. Much love. Go ahead and follow us at FilmStruck FilmClub. If you don't already, you can keep track of all the picks that we do every week. And if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you'll also be able to just see all these videos pop right up. You won't have to do any work. So yeah, thanks so much for coming and hanging. If you miss Groot, believe me, I do too. But Grogu is such a great buddy to have. I know he didn't get featured too much in this video, but God, he's cute. Anyway, have a great weekend. Got another movie pick coming for you tomorrow. Yeah. See ya.